Howdy folks, I bet you're wondering why we are wearing these jerseys, and that's because we're teammates at TFL Studios. You know who else is teammates? Volkswagen. They've got teammates because these two vehicles actually compete for your dollar in a very similar way. And in this video, we're simply going to talk about the differences between the two in terms of measurements, powertrain, EPA, and of course, cost. And there might be some comedy along the way, especially if you don't like the Steelers. Now, don't be fooled because both these powertrains have the same displacement. They're 2-liter engines. They're both turbocharged, and they both have 8-speed automatic transmissions that feed the front wheels, and both of them have 4Motion all-wheel drive feeding all 4 wheels. What you're looking at here is a 2-liter that puts out 184 horsepower, 221 pound-feet of torque, and it gets 20 miles per gallon in the city and 27 miles per gallon on the highway. If this was the front-wheel drive version, it would do slightly better. Aha, this one's different because it puts out 235 horsepower. Yes, it's a 2-liter turbocharged engine, but it makes 258 pound-feet of torque. So it's a more powerful, torquier 2-liter engine. And once again, it feeds the front wheels, but this one's not as efficient because we are talking about a heavier vehicle. This vehicle with all-wheel drive gets 20 miles per gallon city and 24 miles per gallon highway. These are two very different vehicles, yet they have a lot in common. But a lot of you guys are looking for a 3-row crossover. Oh wait, they do offer 3 rows with both vehicles. Now you're looking for a 4-cylinder vehicle. Well, they have that too. And you might be looking for a turbocharged 4-cylinder that gets relatively good mileage and has good cargo space. Guess what? They both have that. But they're very different in terms of overall size. Let me explain. Okay, major differences between these vehicles in terms of overall dimensions. For instance, if you look at the Atlas, that is 198.3 inches long as opposed to the Tiguan, which is 185.1 inches long. The width is a major difference because it goes between 78.3 inches, which is your Atlas, to 72.4 inches, which is your Tiguan. And finally, height. Well, the Tiguan is 66.3 inches tall versus the Atlas, which is 70 inches tall. Very different dimensions between the two of them. One might not fit in your garage, but what about one of the most important things for people who own large teddy bears? Cargo. Well, let me show you what I got because that is one of the major differences. Well, that and passenger and size and gas mileage. It's one of the major parts. Both of these vehicles are available with 3-row seating, but that's where the similarities end because, well, as you can imagine, the Tiguan has very little space for your 3rd row. This particular model actually only has 2 rows, which means it has maximum cargo space. So behind this 2nd row, you got 37.6 cubic feet of cargo space, but maximum, if you put these seats down, 73.5 cubic feet as cargo space. That is actually really good for this class. However, the giant Atlas, very different. Behind the 3rd row, 20.6 cubic feet of cargo space, the way it's configured right now. With the 2nd row, 55.6 cubic feet of cargo space. And maximum cargo space, a giant 96.8 cubic feet. That is enough to feed half a team for a day. When I mean team, I'm not referring to NFL, I'm referring to TFL. These are both SE models, but they come with very different equipment. But another thing I wanted to point out, and I think it's one of the big flaws of both vehicles, is the fact that they have fake exhaust. I can't stand this. Look at that. There's nothing in there. And let's move over to the Atlas. Once again, nothing in here. The exhaust pipe is actually underneath the cladding. And I just don't understand why you have to put something fake up there. This is a new German thing that Audi's doing as well. And I really wish they would stop it and just simply put black cladding on there. Or, God forbid, put the exhaust so it comes out. I know there are reasons for this. I know there's EPA reasons for it. But in terms of looks, I'd rather not be deceived. You know what I mean? All right, before we talk about price, I wanted to go over the fact that, once again, both of these are the volume seller SE models. These are the ones that are popular because it's a mid-level. You're able to get a lot of features, but at the same time, you don't get all the features. Personally speaking, I think that both vehicles, as equipped, are quite nice. Now, right here, the sticker for this vehicle, the Atlas, comes to $40,300. That's as you see it. It's a lot of dough, but in the class it competes against, it's actually very competitive. Now this vehicle over here, the Tiguan SE model, once again, is $28,695 as equipped. If you want the third row seat, you lose a little bit of interior space, and that's it. You don't have to pay any more. Now, I know there's a new Tiguan coming out, but it's going to be very similar to this model. What's important for you guys is decide which one is the right size for you. Which team do you want to play on? For the Fast Lane Cars, this is Nathan. I'll see you next time.